Coming into Saturday's Ford EcoBoost 300 in second place, only 8 points out of the lead. He's no stranger to championship pressure. A three-time IndyCar Series champion. Please welcome the driver of the number 12 Alliance Truck Parts Ford for Penske Racing, Sam Hornish Jr. The points leading the NASCAR Nationwide Series standings belongs to last year's Sunoco Rookie of the Year, a driver who has already won the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Championship to his credit. Here's the driver of the number 3 Advocare Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing, Austin Dillon. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us here today. I want to start off with a question for each one of you. Sam, you're up first. You've won championships in other series, and you've won races in NASCAR, and you know the kind of pressure you're under right now. Talk about what it's like facing an 8-point deficit going into the very last race of the year.
Well, it's sure not the way that we would have liked to come into the race, but we feel like we've had a really good year at Penske Racing. Number 12 Alliance Truck Parts Ford Mustang. We've been strong a lot of races this year and capitalizing on the days that we're strong. And it's one of the things that we need to continue to work on. But at the end of the day, I feel real proud to be in the position that we are and to have the opportunity to win the championship. There's a lot of things that need to happen. We'd like to go out there and lead the most laps and win the race and do all that good stuff. But you know, if Austin finishes third, that's all for naught. So we're just going to be smart, try to figure out the best way to do this. One of the best parts that gives me confidence going this weekend is our performance on the mile and a half so far this year, and the fact that we got to come here and test a couple weeks ago. We saved one of our test dates, not knowing how things were going to play out, and it's a big gamble to look at Miami and say that we need to be the best that we can possibly be when we get there, but we had a feeling that we were going to need to be strong here. So saving that test day for here hopefully will be a real good thing for us.
Austin, you're in the driver's seat right now. No doubt about that. You've got one NASCAR National Series trophy already. What would it mean to grab your second?
Well, it meant a lot. We worked hard this year. God bless us with a great season. The 3 team worked really hard. We were very consistent, and that's paid off for us at the end of the year. Love coming to the mile and a halves. We've been strong there all year long, and Homestead was a place where we led a lot of laps last year. So I'm glad this is the last race of the year, and feel like we need to approach it like any other race, trying to go win. It would be awesome. We don't have wins this year, so to finish out the season with the win and championship would be great.
Okay, we're back up for questions now for either Austin or Sam, our 2 NASCAR Nationwide Series championship contenders. If you have a question, raise your hand and we'll come to you. We'll start right here with Dustin, and then we'll move to the gentleman right there. Go ahead, Dustin.
Dustin Long, Motor Racing Network. Austin, you're entered in the trucks this weekend. Why are you even playing around with trucks with so much at stake nationwide? Aren't you? Isn't that going to hurt you in a way?
No, I think the best thing about it is I'll have more practice time on the track. I can do things as far as saving tires and not having to use as much as getting on pit road, practicing simple stuff. You only have so much time in each of the nationwide practices, and we kind of schedule it out where we use every bit of it for the core setup of the car. And for me, the trucks is more just something to go out there and be able to mess around, try different lines, and hit pit road hard a few times, and also have some fun, get away and have a little racing the night before our big day.
Take the gentleman right there in the middle. Raise your hand there, sir. Go ahead.
This is for Sam. Chris Green, South Dade News Leader. You guys mentioned how you were at the test here a couple weeks ago. From your perspective, how integral is that going to be to help maybe getting an advantage over some of the guys who weren't here?
Well, what you're doing basically is, putting your eggs in one basket, with the fact that we knew that we were strong on a lot of the mile and a half, but saving a test day when we only have 2 of them, throughout the entire year, saving one for late in the season at a racetrack that is basically one of a kind. You're saying that you feel like you're going to be in the championship hunt and that it's going to be close enough that you can win. So that was my call was to go to Chicago or one of those other places where you can use it for a multitude of different racetracks. But the team felt that this would be the best, and with Penske Racing looking at drivers championship and a owners championship, they might have had the crystal ball on that one. And I think it's going to be a big thing because this is a little bit, different tire. Obviously the track configuration is different than a lot of the ones that we run at. And for what this track does to tires and how quickly it wears them and knowing the line, I think that Austin's really right, having the opportunity to get out there and to run the truck race and to have a good feeling about how fast the tires are falling off, how quickly you need to move up, and how much you need to save them to be good on the end of a long run is all important things.
Let's go to Bob, and then we'll go to Dwight. Right here, Bob, and then Jenna.
Bob Parker, Sporting News. For Austin, if you're running second and maybe could take a chance to get the win, would you do it because you haven't won this year, or would you be conservative?
Well, it's all based on, I feel like, you want the biggest point lead you could have coming into this race. We've been dealt with a good point lead, but the thing about it not being super huge, you don't have to be as conservative because he's going to race hard and I got to race hard to stay up front. So you can't lay back and try and give any because there's not much there. We got to go for it, and we just calculated risk is what you got to take most of the time, and if we're there at the end, have a shot to win, we're going to try and take it.
Let's go to Dwight, and then we'll go to Jenna, and then Alan. Go ahead, Dwight.
Dwight Drum, RaceState.com. For Sam Hornish, obviously you multiple champions. You've learned something that a lot of people don't get the opportunity to learn. Could you share that with the team and the driver, others out there that have the drive but haven't got there yet?
Well, having the opportunity to be in this position on a whole different level than what I was at 7 years ago on the IndyCar side of it, I felt like winning championships when I was 22, 23, 26 years old, you feel like there's a lot more to win out there, especially when you won pretty much 50% of the ones that you're in. But then when you take on the opportunity to try something different and you see how much you can struggle and you go through a lot of things in your life, it means a lot to be in this position. And this is all part of making it worthwhile and why I wanted to do it. I wanted to be challenged, and this has been every bit of that challenge and more. And this is just one more step or check mark to get into what my final goal is. And I want to win the championship really badly, and I feel like we're going to go out there and we're going to race hard for it. But we also know that doing it the right way and trying to do it the way a champion would do it is necessarily that's part of winning it. It's not about do something that you feel like you're gonna have to think about every time you look at a ring or a trophy or anything like that.
We'll go to Jenna, Alan, and then Tom Jensen. Go ahead, Jenna.
Jennifer, AP Carey, I apologize. I have a question for each. So I'm gonna break
That's
the rule.
okay. One each. We'll go. That's fine.
Sam, how far have you come from where you were when you got into the 77 car to here? And is it far enough that you feel you've proved you belong in the Cup Series next year?
Well, I definitely feel like I belong in the Cup Series, and I feel like a lot of even what taking the step back was to prove what I've known for a long time, that given the right equipment and the right people around me of what I would be capable of. But each one of those experiences was really a learning. At one point in time, there was a part where, because I'd been so successful on the IndyCar side, I was going to try to pick the car up and carry it on my back if I had to, if it wasn't good enough. And by having a little bit different perspective of it, I really sat down one day and said, if the car is terrible and I wreck, that looks bad on me. If the car's terrible and we, run 15th, that looks bad on the crew chief. So, and I think that, given a couple years ago, I would have taken what we had last weekend and probably would have ended up either 15th or wrecked, but by the things that I've learned and forced myself to do, and by saying that I can't pick it up and carry it, I can try to, get the best finish out of it that certain day. We ended up 5th and kept ourselves in position to be able to run for the championship. And I'm glad that I've had the opportunity, the longevity to be able to come out here and to be in it long enough to prove what I've known for a long time. And that was probably one of the hardest things for me to overcome also was how important the people are around you. You know, this is more of a people sport than just about anything that I've ever been involved in, because you have to have the right crew chief. You have to have the, you know, a great pit crew. There's so many things that are involved in the spotter. You know, there's a lot of things that you can learn from your spotter and that he can help you out with. So I feel like, you know, between, you know, pacing myself back and doing what I'm capable of and not trying to carry the car, and also getting the right people around me, are the two biggest things that have helped me out.
And for Austin, not to really dwell on the Martinsville stuff and Kevin's comments, but your Facebook post sort of addressed, I think, how you felt about what Kevin said, excuse me, in relation to the relationship that you guys had. I'm wondering, what you do on track, do you feel that you need to validate, do you ever feel like you need to validate the position you're in? And would a nationwide championship, I know you have a truck championship, but would a nationwide championship, do you feel you would be able to say, hey, I've earned this and I perform every week, and you know, I've not been given anything?
Yeah, it's definitely nice. You know, I feel like, for me personally, I feel like I've done a good job getting to where I'm at today. You know, things happen for a reason, and you can't control certain things. And I've enjoyed this year and everything about it. But yeah, winning a nationwide title would mean a lot. You know, have it in your back pocket, and it just gives you extra confidence. I don't lack any confidence, though. For a better lack of words, I guess, is I'm comfortable in my own skin and happy with where I'm at right now. So just focused on going out and having a solid run, and I think that would mean more than me than anything, as putting together a final finishing run this year would be great, and just keeping it solid all weekend long. We're going to have some fun, and our cars have been solid this year, and just trying to approach it with everything we can. You know, it's I know my crew chief Danny Stockman has done a good job of keeping my head on straight, and I've always approached races where you take a car, you work on it, you get it better, you race it, and if you can bring it home in one piece, the next week we're going to take it back and it's going to be faster. And that's something I've always been really consistent and trying not to wreck too many cars and stuff, just because I've always kept that in the back of my mind. My grandfather and my dad both have always told me, you know, if we come back and we can make the car faster the next time if you take care of your equipment.
Okay, as I mentioned, these two guys will be available later. We got time for one more question in this segment, and it's going to be Alan.
Austin, with just an 8-point lead, how much will you want to know where Sam is on the track on Sunday?
Well, hopefully we're up front, and you know, we can do the math easy. You know, if you're up front leading and running well. So I know how tight it is, and it's not a big gap. So I feel like we just need to keep ourselves up front, and it doesn't help anybody on the team to worry about that, me bringing it up and keeping my pit crew stressed out. It's more than just staying even kill the whole time. Can't worry about pit stops. You've given the hand you're dealt, and you have to go play with it. So we're going to stay focused and keep that in our mind, is to try and get to the front at the end. If I run in top 5, I feel like we'll bring home the championship title.